So this week's guest is a member of one of the most iconic bands of the 1960s, a band who topped the charts, Chicago's very own the Buckinghams. Today we're going to be talking to one of the founding members, guitarist and vocalist, Carl Giammarese.
The following is a Tony Lasano podcast, an Opie show on the Radio Misfits Podcast Network. This is the Minutia Man Celebrity Interview with Rick and Dave.
All right, so the promo says Rick and Dave, but there's no Dave today. He's at the dentist. But I think I drew the better assignment, Carl. Here with one of the greats of rock and roll, somebody I've known for many years, Carl Giammarese. Thanks for being on the show.
Well, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. It's always great to talk to you. It's been a while, hasn't it?
It has. But I've got some good news for you, because since Dave is not here, you're not going to have to talk about naked swimming at Lane Tech this time. So congratulations.
Oh, God. I remember that. Unfortunately, I remember that.
So
I'd rather block it out.
Yeah, I think there are many other people in the same boat. I want to talk to you, though, about your recent solo album, which I've been listening to for the last couple of days. By my count, it's your third solo album. Is that right?
Yeah, actually.
Okay.
I mean, the first one, Trying Not to Fade, was, I don't know when that was. Now I have to go back, maybe 2000.
Okay.
And then I think, and then the second one, Living in the Moment, was around 2010. I don't even think we were doing social media or anything yet.
Right, exactly.
And so this is the first album that I've been able to, because now this album is up on all the media platforms,
yes.
Like Spotify and Apple Music and Let the Music Play, and so I'm excited. It's I'll tell you, it's always it's so much fun for me and to be creative. I don't when I start these projects, I don't really think about, I'm going to have the next big hit record,
Yeah.
It's more, it's for my sanity and my creativity. I just need to be creative and do new music. I'm always writing. I'm always putting stuff down. And of course, with this new way, well, it's fairly new. It's been around now for a while, but being able to record using a computer-based system, I use this Apple system, this Logic Pro X, and I'm able to go back and forth with my music friends and
collaborators,
singers, musicians, and we just send WAV files back and forth to one another, and we'll go back and forth on a particular thing several times till I get what I'm looking for.
So you were not in the same room as the other people when you were recording this album?
That's exactly right.
Wow.
I was not, I was not. I had, Dave Mikulskis, who plays in a Chicago band, High Infidelity, I think the group is. They're a local band that's doing very well. And he's got an outstanding voice. I mean, he's like Steve Perry,
Yeah.
And he's got that, and then there's Kiki Epson, who's in actually Malibu, California, and she sang with me on a couple of the tracks, including the cover version of In My Life, the Beatles song. And then
I wanted to talk to you about that one, because that, I got to tell you, is my favorite. It made the hair on the back of my neck stand up. It's like it's just an absolutely beautiful version of one of my favorite songs. I mean, I couldn't go wrong. But do you mind if I play a little bit of that?
No, not at all.
Okay.
I'd love it.
All right, so here, we'll do about a minute's worth of Carl's version of In My Life.
Cool.
It's beautiful.
Very good.
Here it is.
Thank you.
There are places I'll remember all my life, though some have changed, some forever, not for better. Some have gone and some remain. All these places have their moments with lovers and friends I still can recall. some are living in my life. I've loved them all.
Amazing.
Wow. Oh, wow. Thank you.
You know, the fact that you're not in the same room is pretty impressive to me, because the melody, the voices blend together.
Well, you know, that very talented lady, Kiki Epson, has done a lot of things on her own, and she's been around for quite a while. You know, her dad is actually the old-time actor Buddy Epson.
Oh, you're kidding me.
Yeah, and that's his daughter, you know, and
Barnaby Jones.
Yeah, she's the Beverly Hillbillies.
Yeah, right. Love it.
But she did a couple tracks with me. That's also her playing piano, because she's a really fine pianist also, you know. And so, you know, I met her years ago through a friend, and you know, we've been able to connect, and so, you know, so we just sent tracks back and forth, and also she came into there's a theater we play up in Wisconsin near Lake Geneva called the Belfry Theater, and I talked the promoter of that to bring her in and do her Joni Mitchell show, because she does that so great, and I joined her on a couple of Joni Mitchell songs. This was last year, you know. So yeah, she's a talent, and I'm glad I got to work with her. And you know, I've had some other musicians from Chicago that also played some keyboard. I did all the guitars myself, you know. Okay. I don't get enough chance to play in the Buckinghams to play guitar enough, because I'm out in front as a lead singer, and you know, I play during a long show, maybe on 3 or 4 songs. Right. But otherwise, I don't play like I used to. You know. So this gives me another chance to do that and pick up the guitar and do a lot of different playing, and give me a chance to use. Excuse me, I'm choking up here. Doing a chance to do to use about 15 guitars that I have at my disposal, and so I tried most of them on this album, and it was it's just so creative, you know, and most of the songs, I mean, they're the lyrically are from experiences I've had or thinking about, and it's great. It's such a release to be able to put that down, you know, and be able to express yourself in song is just, I don't know how to explain it. It's just a wonderful feeling, and
something you've been doing for a very long time now.
Oh yeah, sure have.
I enjoy all of the new tracks, the original compositions, and I think I mentioned that you chose a good one here in my life. You also did another cover, "Easy Lover," right, from Philip Bailey and Phil Collins.
Yeah, right? That was Dave and I started talking about doing that song, and when we first started doing it, we came up with a track to use, a drum track, you know, and it's, Phil Collins is a great drummer. Yeah. And there's a, slamming drums on that track. But then I said to him, well, you know, we don't need to do another Phil Collins version of this. I like to cover songs sometimes, but you try to give it a different, feeling and a different reason for doing it. So I said, why don't we keep it more acoustic? And so that's me on a nylon string classical guitar throughout the song, and that's me playing lead in there. And then we kept the percussion very simple. You know, the tambourine is in there, a couple other little things, and then Dave played a little bit of organ in there too. And then the vocals are real strong, and so we kept it in that mode, you know, and a more, a simpler, more acoustic version of it, you know, and it came out really nice. I'm just happy with the way we did that song. So it was good.
I'm enjoying the whole album, and I know you've got a birthday coming up. Very soon, right? In the next couple of days, right? Yeah, and I do. I don't want to say which one it is, but it's over 50. But so, what made you decide, to keep doing solo? I mean, what was What was it that you mentioned that you just need to be creative? But is that, I mean, that seems like that's something that has just been with you your whole life. You ever feel like you're going to grow out of it?
No, I don't. I mean, I need that creativity to exist. Really, I mean, I have to. You can really get into a kind of like a bit of a funk doing that. I mean, believe me, I am very grateful for the success the Buckinghams have had through the years. Even when we came back in 1980 and started playing again and found our audience again. I mean, it's because of our audience that we're still allowed to be out there playing, and I appreciate it. I'm so grateful to them. But you can get into a rut too, and you're forced to play those same songs all the time because these are the songs people want to hear. They want to hear the hits. Yeah. They don't really want our Buckingham audience doesn't really want to hear new music or new songs. I tried that. I did an album reaching back about, I don't know what it was now, 15 years ago maybe. And I decided to write a bunch of songs that kind of were in that same mode that we did when the Buckinghams recorded the Time and Charges album and Portraits, and wrote a bunch of songs because I thought, well, maybe if we recreate, we write some new songs and recreate that style with some new music, it'll work. It'll go over. You know what? It didn't happen. It's just they still wanted to hear the old songs. Yeah, I get it. So that died. So with that said, I mean, I just I'm grateful that we still go out. I mean, we're going to wind up playing probably the Buckinghams will probably play about 35, 40 dates this year, Wow. And we're in and out of town, and it keeps you real busy, and it's you can really wear down because, most dates we play, it takes 3 days because you got to fly out on the day before and you're there for the day, and then you come back the third day. So it's a lot of traveling, and I mean, I'm grateful that we're still, our baby boomers are still demanding to hear our songs. That I thank them every night.
Yeah, well, they love you. I mean, I've seen it. Back in the day when I was John Landecker's producer at Magic 104, you were on the show a lot. I think you came to one of our mini golf outings. Our morning show bowled against the Buckinghams once. I think Landecker and the Legends opened for you guys more times than I can remember.
Those were great times.
You even came out to listeners' homes with us. You played the guitar. Remember one time you played in a shower somewhere?
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
I know. We did some crazy things. John used to dress up in a Girl Scout uniform.
Yeah, that's right. You were I haven't spoken about that stuff, though. I mean, there aren't many people that would agree to just go play in a shower somewhere.
Yeah, well, we would do anything. We were just pretty crazy. And he was a pretty crazy out there guy. Yes. I think he's doing a show now. I think with Bob Surratt.
Yeah, he's on WGN. GN? Yeah, I highly recommend it.
Which reminds me, I'm doing Steve and Johnny's show Saturday night.
Okay.
This coming Saturday night.
So there's another.
And they want me to bring a guitar up there and play a few songs, and I said okay. Glad to do it,
there's a whole radio thing with you. As I'm Catherine Johns is a friend of mine, and she was on that show too.
Sure, I know.
And her husband, Frank Tusinski. I found this out just by chance one day when we were talking in the studio. Frank arranged the horns for a few of the songs for the Buckinghams. Is that true?
Yes. Well, Frank, by the way, I stayed in touch with Frank through the years. I know he's passed on now, but I never could talk him into, this is in more recent times when he was still doing fairly well, but I can never talk him into, I says, why don't you come out to a show and bring your horn and sit in? Yeah. And, no, he says, I can't do that. I don't know if it's because he got away from it for so long or what it was, but him and I had stayed in touch, and what it was is our first producer, Dan Belloc, who owned the old Holiday Ballroom, and Dan produced the Buckinghams album, kind of a drag album, including Kind of a Drag. And it was Dan's idea to put horns to our songs, including Kind of a Drag. And so Dan also had a big band that they went out and performed with his big band, you know. So he got his horn section, including him. Dan Bellick played saxophone. He got Frank Tazinski to write the charts for Kind of a Drag and several other, all the cuts that were on the Kind of a Drag album. And Frank being a trombone player, it was one of the reasons I think that it was sort of the sound was sort of trombone heavy.
Yeah.
And because that was our sound, was that trombone on the bottom, which of course our producer Jim Guercio went on to produce Don't You Care and Hey Baby and Mercy Mercy and Susan, and kept that sound even though we went to Columbia Records after that. And I think it carried over to the group Chicago.
Yeah,
also.
well, and Blood, Sweat, and Tears, and there, a whole slew of other bands, because you guys really were one of the first ones that did that.
Right, but Frank was definitely the guy that wrote those charts and played on that album.
So cool. in recent years, I've been following you. You guys have been out there touring, as you mentioned. You tour with a lot of your contemporaries from those '60s days, the Turtles, Paul Revere and the Raiders, the Grassroots, the Cowsills. When I think of bands like that, and you guys, you all kind of have something in common, and that is happy rock and roll, right? Feel good music.
Yeah.
Good times and great oldies, right?
Yeah, that's what it was all about. We were having such a great time,
but the fact that you did that while like the most tumultuous decade in American history was going on in the 1960s is pretty amazing.
Yeah, it really was, the way it all came together and the success that we all had at that time. And, of course, I got to know a lot of those groups from back in the day better when Nick and I started doing the Happy Together tour.
Right.
And then we would be with the Turtles. I mean, that tour's been around for 15 years, believe it or not.
Yeah.
And we've been on 7 of them. And I have decided not to do it again. I guess I should never say never, but I've turned my agent down about 4 years in a row. We last time we were on it was in 2022, and it's a great tour. I mean, and it's a tight ship. They run it really well, and it's a great tour. The venues you play are fabulous, the entertainment on it. But I'll tell you, Rick, I just can't do 60, 70 dates, one-nighters like that with that kind of traveling. It's just got to be too much.
I don't know how any of them can do it, to be honest with you.
I don't either. I mean, maybe some of them need to do it badly for various reasons.
Yeah.
And I thank God I'm not in that position. But I just can't. I love to do it, and we still do some fill-in dates. But I just can't keep up that schedule and play that many dates and traveling every night, Yeah. You're traveling hundreds of miles every day,
Sure.
And it's just not something I want to do anymore.
You've also gotten a taste of not doing it. Like, I think my favorite part of your resume that people don't know is that you've spent some time as a jingle singer in, working for advertising agencies in Chicago, and you had like a semi-normal life there for, 5 years or so.
Yeah,
right?
I enjoyed that part of my life. I came back from, I was spending a lot of time in L.A., and, Dennis Tufano and I had our duo, Tufano and Giammarese, and we did 3 albums with Lou Adler and Ode Records, and with moderate success. We didn't really have any big hits. We had one song I wrote that got around number 60 on the charts, and that was it. So Dennis and I did that for about 6 years, I think it was. And then by around 1976, I think it was, or 77, so, I came back to Chicago, came back home, and I was like, oh, what am I going to do now?
Yeah.
What should I do? And luckily, I was good friends with some very well-respected and well-known people in the jingle business, including the great singer Bonnie Herman, who has done every jingle that you could think of. And then there was a jingle drummer that played a lot on all those tracks, Tom Radke. So the two of them helped me get into the business and introduced me to all these jingle producers, and, sent them a jingle tape that I put together, and Bonnie helped me put together. And then I started getting calls. And
not for small clients either. I mean, McDonald's, United Airlines, Kellogg's, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I probably sang on 300 commercials over the course of 5 or 6 years.
Do you remember any of them?
Big Mac, filet of fish, quarter pounder French fries, icy Coke, 6 shakes, sundaes, and apple pie. Then the jingle went da-da-da-da-da-da. And then it ends with, you deserve a break today at McDonald's.
That was you. That was you that singing was me.
It. And then all the United fly the friendly skies. At the end of the commercials, you hear the tags. I did that, and the beer commercials, and several different McDonald's and RC Cola. It just went on and on, and it was a kind of a normal lifestyle because the studios around Chicago were really jumping back then. Yeah. Universal and Paragon and CRC and so they were all going, and so you jump from one studio to the other over the course of the day or the week or whatever, and they kept you real busy. And all the big ad agencies were in Chicago,
right,
at the time. So you had that Leo Burnett and Needham and different. So it was a fun time. It really was good. My jingle career kind of overlapped with the Buckinghams starting up again, because 1980. So I was just kind of doing both for a while there.
So be honest, what made you more money, singing for these multi-million-dollar corporations or singing for records?
Up to that point, probably the jingles, because over the long haul now with the Buckinghams, right. I've made a good living, but up until that time, we were an example of most groups back in the 60s who got ripped off.
Isn't it something? I don't think I've talked to a single 60s artist who was not ripped off.
No, we all got bad record deals. And we weren't making hell. Our producer manager had us on about $150 a week salary, and I never saw the royalties until many years later. I finally contacted through an attorney, which no longer was Columbia, it was Sony Music. And we cut a deal with Sony on back royalties. They kept coming up with more money until it reached a certain amount. Yeah. And then we accepted that. And now, twice a year, I collect royalties.
Isn't that nice?
And distribute that, and so that's, made a big difference. But back in the day, we weren't making that much money. Look at that. If you happen to see the Billy Joel special that was on HBO.
Oh, my God. How
look
about
what happened
that?
to him.
Yeah.
Somebody as big an artist as him and a major talent. That guy is fabulous.
Well, even the Beatles were screwed out of their, royalties.
Yeah.
As Paul McCartney to this day does not own his songs.
Yeah, I know.
That's
a shame. That is just crazy.
So there was one thing I was curious about. I was on your website this morning and I saw your discography, and one of the compilation CDs mentioned was The Italians. Tell me more about that.
Well, I think it had a lot to do with the fact that you have the three guys in the band with the vowels at the end of their name. Giammarese, Tufano, and Fortuna.
Yes, exactly.
So we were Italian, all of us, and and I didn't really have anything to do with that.
Okay.
They just decided to put this compilation of famous artists that had Italian heritage, that were Italians. I think Mercy Mercy was on that, if I remember correctly, and it made I'm proud of that. That's nice of them. to recognize that. Even today, we've got a dear friend, Ron Onesti.
Oh, sure.
Who's about as Italian as you can get.
Yeah.
And he does so much for the Italian community. Plus he's the main owner of the Arcata Theater and the Des Plaines Theater now, and we're very good friends. And he's my paisan, and he has us for the Cornerstone shows that we do. Probably do 2 or 3 of them a year. We got one coming up on September 28th at the Arcata, and then there's one in November at the Des Plaines Theater. That we're going to be doing, and that's the Cornerstone show we do with some of the legends from the Chicago 60s bands, like of course the Ides of March and Jim Peterick and the Crying Shames, New Colony 6, Shadows of Night Music. So that's fun. That's been going on ever since we did that PBS special about probably 9 years ago.
Yeah, that was a great special.
Yeah, so we still do that, and of course, like I said, Ron Onesti is
he's
a great
royalty,
supporter.
right? He's Italian royalty in Chicago, pretty much.
Oh yeah, he definitely is. I mean, he does so much for the Italian community, and he's always doing something in Little Italy, and he was behind that whole thing with them taking down the statues, the Columbus.
Yes.
He was, and he's real involved in the Columbus Day Parade, which we did a couple of years ago. We were on a float, and we're going to be on it again this year.
All right. So
I think me, Nick, and Dennis Tufano are going to be on that float. So
cool.
It's fun.
We one of my jobs is I own a publishing company, and it's called Eckhart's Press, and we put a book out recently called Mob Adjacent, which is a story of kids that grew up with their parents being associated with the mob, but they were not. You know what I mean? Where they'd have parties at their house, and they'd have to put the coats in the room, and like guns would fall out and stuff. It's things like that.
Uh-huh.
And you, I know, worked in nightclubs run by the types of Italians that we feature in the movies. Everyone I've talked to about this always says the same thing. They say that those guys were actually great to the performers. That they never had any issues. Was that true for you guys too?
Yes, absolutely. They were always great to us, and I remember the first Happy Together tour in '85 that we were on, 1985, and we did a show in New York for the Genovese family.
Wow,
it's one of the Italian families, And through the years, I mean, we've done different things that, but I always, they always treated us great, and we were never, my dad grew up in an Italian neighborhood with a lot of the different characters from that time, and what he was friends with, but he was never involved with them, but he knew a lot of them.
Right.
And they would be at weddings together and different things, and so I knew some of them, and they were all good people to us, and
right.
And so forth. So I mean, I'm 100% Sicilian.
There you go. So don't mess with them.
There you go. Don't mess.
Well, Carl,
they were good people.
I appreciate you being on the show. Before you go, I would like you to plug away you've already gotten a couple of good ones out there about concerts coming up. Where can people get the album? Where can they see you? What should they send you for your birthday present this week?
Oh, gosh. Well, you don't have to send me anything, but you can if you want to. You can get the album, Let the Music Play. That's the new album, and that's the leading cut on the album, too. That's if you had to pick a single, that would be it. And it's available at www.thebuckinghams.com and also at carlgiammarese.com. At myname.com, either place you can purchase the album. two M's, GIAMMARESE.
Right.
Long one. And so it's available both either place, either website. And it's also, I actually put it in a few I did have, even though people don't buy CDs anymore much, it is available in CD, and that's where you can order it through those websites. But I also have it in a few different places. I mean, my friend Tom Lounges, who has a store in Boulevard, Indiana. Yeah, Tom's got it available in his store.
Cool.
So, he's carrying some of those CDs, which was very nice of him. And I don't know what else. And like I said, you can download it too. It's on just about every download site. You can go to Spotify or Apple Music.
I've got it on Spotify myself right now.
Yeah, and so that's what so many of the younger people do, of course, and maybe the older people now that have caught on to that whole thing. It took me a while.
Hey, I'm 62. But, I'm not that young anymore either.
Yeah. Well, I wish I was 62. that sounds young to me. Yeah.
Well, thanks, Carl. Have a great one. I wish you continued success. Rick, I think I'm going to come out and see you when you're at the Des Plaines Theater. I'm not far from there.
Thank you. I want to mention we're going to be September 5th. That's a Friday. The Chicago Special Events is having in Roscoe Village. That's like in the city, Damon Avenue and Roscoe. It's a big outdoor retro concert. Festival they're having, and we're going to perform there on the 5th.
Okay.
On September 5th, we'll be there. And I think, and then there's, I'll mention this one too. On the 27th, we're in Sandwich, Illinois at the Sandwich, it's a theater, small performing arts theater in Sandwich, Illinois. And the 28th we'll be at the Arcata. So I want to mention that.
All right.
And it goes on and on. I mean, I've got a whole schedule. I could give you that, but we won't get into the whole schedule for the rest of the year. But
they can check it out at the two websites, right?
Yeah. Yes, you can. Yeah, it's always the first thing you see when you open up the Buckinghams website is the schedule.
All right.
So you can't miss it.
Thanks, Carl.
All right.
Have a great one.
Rick, thank you. It's always a pleasure talking to you, and I appreciate all your support and your help, and thank you for having me on today. I appreciate it.
You got it. Talk to you later.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye.
There he is, Carl Giammarese. I think I've known him now for 35 years or something like that, and as I mentioned earlier, he was on a lot when we were doing the Landecker show. And in fact, one time, I'll tell you a quick little story. One time we were doing a live broadcast from Union Station in Chicago, the train station. And John asked me to write a parody song of one of the Buckingham songs, which is called Susan, right? You know that song. And then I invited Carl to come down to the train station. And as I mentioned in the interview, he was always up for anything. And on this particular day, he walked up with his guitar in hand in the middle of Union Station. I handed him a piece of paper with new lyrics to his song Susan about the Girl Scouts, because John Landecker was doing a big thing in a Girl Scout uniform. He was selling Girl Scout cookies, and this is the song that Carl sang just without any rehearsal of any kind. He just picked it up and did this.
Girl Scouts selling cookies, they're the Girl Scouts. We've loved them since we've tasted Thin Mints. Girl Scouts, they're cookie selling Girl Scouts. Just give them your cash, a badge for their sash. Whatever cookies you wanna buy, they will supply. Let's try some tag-alongs, try some dozy-dos, shell egg cream Samoas. Hey, that's not bad. Girl Scouts selling cookies. Whoa, Girl Scouts selling cookies. Yeah.
How about that? All right. We have people to thank. Thank you first to Carl for coming on the show. Thanks to Brandon for helping line that up, Brandon Herman. Thanks also to our executive producer, Tony Lasano with Opie Shows, and our distributor, who's Ed Silla, the Radio Misfits Podcast Network. Great Talk Radio isn't dead. It just moved to a better place, radiomisfits.com. And we're going to be back again soon. We'll be back again very soon with another episode of Minutia Men Celebrity Interview.
The proceeding was a presentation of the Radio Misfits Podcast Network. Find our other great shows on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, and at radiomisfits.com. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
This has been a presentation of Opie Productions.
Tony, can you shut up?